What's going on, noobs? I am Rory, the Perpetual Noob, and welcome to another exciting Hollow Knight guide. Today, we'll be talking about the Pantheon of the Master, and the boss, or bosses, that await us at the end. Nailmaster brothers Oro and Mato. Brothers Oro and Mato are a boss fight added with the Godmaster content pack. The fight we'll be talking about in this guide occurs at the end of the Pantheon of the Master, also known as the First Pantheon or Pantheon 1, which is found in Godhome. Please see my Godmaster primer to learn how to access Godhome and some extra tidbits about this shiny new place. To enter the Pantheon of the Master, we must first defeat several enemies outside of Godhome. Vengefly King, Gruesmother, not that Gruesmother, False Knight, Massive Moss Charger, Hornet Protector, aka Hornet 1, Dream Warrior Gorb, Dung Defender, Soul Warrior, and Brooding Malek. Before we get to fight brothers Oro and Mato, we have to fight through the rest of the Pantheon of the Master. I mentioned before that we needed to defeat a bunch of enemies outside of Godhome to access this Pantheon. Well, that's because the game wants to know we could beat them, because we get to fight them all over again in the Pantheon, in this order. First, we fight Vengefly King, then Gruesmother, not that Gruesmother, next is False Knight, then Massive Moss Charger, then we fight Hornet Protector. After Hornet, we have a chance to rest at a hot spring and a bench if we'd like to swap out some charms. If we've completed enough bindings, we can grab some lifeblood health too. However, rest at the bench before getting lifeblood health. Otherwise, we lose all of that precious lifeblood, like I've never done that before. After the rest point, it's time to ascend. We fight Dream Warrior Gorb, then the Jubilant Dung Defender. Then it's time to fight a Soul Warrior. And the penultimate fight of the Pantheon of the Master is Brooding Malek. After Brooding Malek, we have a moment to speak with the Godseeker and listen to her gripe about us, and give ourselves a break. Then it's off to the final fight, brothers Oro and Mato. Oro or Mato will swing their nail twice. The first slash is a backhand swipe, and the second slash is an overhead swipe. They move about a full-bodied width forward with the first slash, and only about half that with the second. This attack can be done by one brother individually, or by both brothers simultaneously. Oro or Mato telegraph this attack when they lower their head and twist around, drawing their nail way back. A short moment later, the backhand slash happens. About a half second after the first slash is done, they stand up and bend over backwards with their nail behind them, and with this wonderful visual glitch. After a short moment, the overhead slash comes down. Let's call this attack the double slash attack. Oro or Mato will leap towards our location, stopping in midair briefly before dropping straight down with their nail swiping down. This attack can be done by one brother individually, or by both brothers at the same time. They target us with this attack before leaving the ground, which can result in them jumping backwards. They strike where we were with a portion of their body, usually their leading foot. Their nail will always extend beyond our previous position. Oro or Mato telegraph this attack when they squat down. They kick up a small dust cloud holding this pose for about half a second before leaping into the air at an angle. There is, however, a variation to this attack, where Oro or Mato will instead perform a short hop towards us, and then jump. Once they reach the apex of their jump, they tuck and somersault, finishing with their nail held high and out of view. They stay mid-air like this for almost half a second before coming down. Let's call this attack the jump slash attack. Oro will perform his signature nail art, the dash slash. His dash slash covers the entire breadth of the arena, with Oro covering about 75% of the arena and the slash covering the rest. Oro telegraphs his dash slash when he quickly leaps up and out of view for a moment before landing at either end of the arena. However, if Oro is already on one end of the arena, he will not perform this jump. Oro will take nearly 1.5 seconds to charge up his attack, with the requisite charging shout. Then he dashes across the arena, his nail at the ready. Once he's about 75% across, he slashes. Let's call this attack the obviously, dash/attack. Mato will perform his signature nail art, the Cyclone Slash. This Cyclone Slash carries Mato high into the air, where, after he's done spinning, Mato will come down just like during a jump slash. Mato will move towards us as he spins. He determines which direction he's going to move before he starts spinning. Mato spins for a little more than a second and a half, and makes about 6 rotations. Mato telegraphs his Cyclone Slash when he quickly leaps up and out of view for a moment before landing at the center of the arena. There is a variation to this attack in which Mato will not leap to the center of the arena first. He will instead just begin charging. Mato also takes nearly 1.5 seconds to charge up his attack, with, again, the requisite charging shout. He spins about 3 times before he lifts off towards an upper corner of the arena, where he finishes up with the latter part of a jump slash. Let's call this attack the Cyclone Slash attack. The Pantheon of the Master has 11 unique foes, including Oro and Mato as 2. The Pantheons in general are an endurance and focus test, testing our capacity to change our methods and tactics for each foe. The bench is available to us after the first 5 fights, meaning we can swap out charms after Hornet if we want. Before beginning any Pantheon, I would recommend having the Pure Nail, maximum hit points, maximum soul vessels, maximum charm notches, all nail arts, all combat-related movement abilities, especially the Shade Cloak, all empowered spells, and every charm. For Vengefly King, the same tactics that worked in the Forgotten Crossroads and Colosseum of Fools work here. He has the same attacks, the dive, and the scream which summons Vengeflies. Thanks, however, to the design of the arena, we have a new tactic which allows us to stick with the Vengefly King and pogo on him multiple times after a dive, using the Monarch Wings and dash to get above him even when he's on the sides of the arena. We can heal after dashing through a dive or during a scream, before the Vengeflies get us. For Gru's Mother, there is no second phase with a cavalcade of Gruzzers for this fight. Nail Arts and Abyss Shriek are fantastic here. For False Knight, there is no way to skip this fight like there is in the Forgotten Crossroads, and we still don't gain soul except when False Knight has fallen over. Abyss Shriek can be very useful to punish False Knight's jumps, or we can jump with them and hit them with our nail repeatedly. When False Knight falls over for the 3rd time, we can hang out with them indefinitely, meaning we can dream nail them and heal as much as we need to completely refill our health and soul gauge. Massive Moss Charger has 2 attacks, a charge towards us and a leap over us. Quick Slash completely demolishes this enemy if they charge. Even without Quick Slash, we can time our nail strikes just right, especially with range extenders, to keep Massive Moss Charger away from us and end the fight in a single charge. We can heal after Massive Moss Charger has passed us with an attack. For Hornet Protector, there is no dialogue before the fight, and we now already have the Mothwing Cloak, among many other abilities, so this fight should go very differently for us. She still has the same attacks as before. Her Dream Nail dialogue is different, demonstrating that she's aware she is not in Kansas anymore. Dream Warrior Gorb floats randomly, and at times will teleport around the arena. Gorb has 1 attack. They fire 8 nails outward in a burst formation. The nails appear and remain motionless for a moment before traveling straight in the direction they're pointing. Dream Warrior Gorb remains in place while the nails don't move. Once Gorb reaches 70% health, they will fire 2 sets of nails, one rapidly after the other, the second pattern offset from the first. At 40%, Gorb fires 3 sets of nails, each pattern offset from the preceding pattern. Shade Soul and Nail Arts are fantastic against this Dream Warrior. We can also heal in between attacks. For Dung Defender, the same tactics apply as I've stated in my Dung Defender and White Defender guides. Don't forget to use Descending Dark to knock Ogrim out of the ground. Soul Warrior is incredibly mobile. They will walk once in a while, but they predominantly teleport between attacks. And they have a variety of attacks. A nail dive, a dash, and an orb attack. It's also a good idea to deal lots of damage in short bursts, like we try to do for many teleporting enemies. Spells like Shade Soul and Descending Dark are good, and so are Nail Arts. One nifty trick that works with all orb attacks is that we can neutralize an orb if we hit them with a Shadow Dash. We can heal, even without charms, when out of reach of a dash, or just after dodging a nail dive. Like I said in my Brooding Malek guide, it's definitely helpful to have a dash, with Shade Cloak being even better for avoiding that vomit attack. Nail extensions, spells, and nail lards are all very helpful here. There are some charms and abilities that are useful throughout the entire Pantheon. Charms like Fragile/Unbreakable Strength, heretofore known as Strength, Long Nail and/or Mark of Pride, Nailmaster's Glory, Shaman Stone, Spell Twister, Hive Blood, Quick Focus, Sharp Shadow, and Dream Wielder. There's a lot of health to get through in any Pantheon, and Strength helps us get through it faster. There are also many foes in this Pantheon who do not stay still for long, so increasing our nail strike damage by 50% is very helpful. Nail extensions like Long Nail and Mark of Pride help us against nearly every foe in this Pantheon. They help with reaching Gru's Mother and Gorb. We can keep Massive Moss Charger off of us in a single round. We can stay safer against everyone else, including brothers Oro and Mato. Along the same lines as Strength, Nail Arts help us do massive damage in a short time, and Nailmaster's Glory helps us use Nail Arts more often. Each Nail Art has their purpose against nearly every foe in the Pantheon of the Master. Spells are useful against every foe in the Pantheon, and Shaman Stone empowers our spells even further, while Spell Twister allows us to cast more spells. The combination of both charms can be devastating. Each spell has their use against almost every boss. All Pantheons are an endurance test, and Hive Blood lets us keep our health recharging without expending soul. Hive Blood can keep us surviving the gauntlet for longer without us needing to stop to heal. Quick Focus gives us more opportunities to heal safely. Again, we've got a lot of foes to get through between rest points, so having the capability to heal more often and faster is great. The Shade Cloak isn't a requirement for Godhome, but it really helps. And Sharp Shadow makes our Shadow Dash all the better. The dash distance increase is especially helpful against the larger enemies like False Knight and brothers Oro and Mato. We will need Soul at one point or another in a Pantheon, and Dream Wielder can be critical to keeping us topped off. This charm halves the time to use our Dream Nail, so we can get 2 swipes per stagger against any enemy if we want, or a single swipe and still have time to heal. And Dream Wielder increases the amount of soul we get whenever we use the Dream Nail, which is also incredibly helpful. The Minion build is a fun charm combination that is fairly effective against every foe in the Pantheon. The Minion build is Weaver Song, Glowing Womb, Grimchild, preferably level 4, Grub Song, Sprint Master, and Defender's Crest. The build allows us to focus on dodging while our minions do the damage. There are other charms that I believe are useful, but not as broadly as the charms mentioned before. Charms like Quick Slash, Grubberfly's Elegy, Fury of the Fallen, Steady Body, Soul Catcher, Fluke Nest, Shape of Un, and Fragile/Unbreakable Heart, also known as Heart. For me, Quick Slash isn't an absolutely necessary charm. It's essentially useless against many of the flying and teleporting enemies, but it is still Quick Slash, one of the strongest charms in all of Hollow Knight, and it is a really strong choice against brothers Oro and Mato, because there are so many moments when a brother is just standing around. It could be a charm we swap to at the bench. Grubberfly's Elegy is very good for dealing damage at range, but we need to maintain full health and combine this with charms like Quick Slash and Strength for maximum efficacy. The fact that the nail beams don't generate any soul keep this as an okay choice for any Pantheon. Fury of the Fallen is an interesting choice. It is safest/most viable when activated just before the resting point, and we've completed at least 8 bindings, because being at 1 hit point with bonus lifeblood keeps the damage boost active. But combining this with Quick Slash and Strength, and Grubberfly's Elegy if we want, allows us to demolish enemies real quick, provided we essentially never get hit again. Steady Body is another okay charm, allowing us to maintain pressure against enemies without having to constantly readjust our spacing, but it's best when combined with Quick Slash. When we've got 2 notches left and no idea what to use, Soul Catcher can be a good option. For fights where Quick Slash isn't really helping, Soul Catcher can help us keep up with soul generation. Shade Soul is very useful throughout the Pantheon, so Fluke Nest isn't a bad option because it's a huge damage boost, but the Charm Notch cost and the limited range can make this not as useful as Shade Soul itself. I'd recommend swapping it at the bench because this can be really strong against brothers Oro and Mato. Moving while healing isn't as useful in this Pantheon as it would be in later Pantheons, but if we are struggling to safely recover health, Shape of Un is the charm to use, especially in conjunction with Quick Focus. I can only recommend Heart as a health boosting charm because there are a lot of fights to the bench and after. Giving ourselves Lifeblood through things like Lifeblood Core and Lifeblood Heart is great, but it's better to be able to heal rather than giving ourselves a set amount of health. I've talked a lot about various charms, but none of this helps if we're attempting the charm binding. If we're doing that, then we've got to be more patient, as fights will take longer. We can still heal, but less often, during enemy staggers, or after we've safely dodged an enemy's attack, but before the attack is ended, like in the case of Vengefly King, Massive Moss Charger, Gorb, and so forth. It's also important to use our spells and nail arts. Even though they too are no longer enhanced, they still do a lot more damage than even the pure nail. A real great thing about Godmaster is that if we are struggling against any of the enemies in the Pantheon of the Master, including brothers Oro and Mato, we can practice against them repeatedly in the Hall of Gods without having to step into the Pantheon of the Master. To practice against brothers Oro and Mato, we do have to at least reach them though. Let's talk tactics specifically for brothers Oro and Mato. The fight happens in two phases. Well, three, kind of. The first phase is a one-on-one fight with Oro. The second phase of the fight is us versus both Oro and Mato. And the third phase is a one-on-one fight between us and the remaining brother. In the first phase, Oro has 500 hit points. In the second phase, he gets back up with 600 hit points, and Mato has 1,000 hit points. The third phase tends to be a one-on-one fight with Mato. If that's the case, he will rarely, if ever, jump before charging up a Cyclone Slash. If we fight Oro in the third phase, his behavior remains unchanged. What's really cool about this third phase is that we can Dream Nail whichever brother is sitting down and gain soul from them. Brothers Oro and Mato are familiar with fighting as a team. We will see them attack simultaneously with double slashes or jump slashes, especially if we are in between them. We'll see them attack in tandem with a combination of a jump slash and a double slash. We'll also see one brother attack us and the other jump or flip backwards behind the attacking brother. Here's something unique that can only happen when one brother is charging and executing their nail art. The other brother might take up this stance. If we damage the brother while they are in this stance, they'll respond with a double slash or jump slash. When we see a brother standing around while the other is attacking or preparing to attack, we can damage that brother as much as we want, and they won't respond. So, for a quicker fight, it's best to take advantage of these opportunities. I'm sure the brothers find it dishonorable, but hey, we've got Pantheons to conquer. There are opportunities to heal in every phase of this fight, even without charms. We can heal a hit point after dashing through, or if we stay out of range of a double slash. We can heal a hit point after reaching safety during a jump slash. We can heal a hit point during the charge up of a nail art. The timing is tight for those last two scenarios without charms. We can heal a couple hit points while Mato charges and performs his Cyclone Slash. Don't forget to dodge the jump slam if necessary. These opportunities to safely heal without charms tend to rely on only one brother attacking at a time, except when we're dealing with a simultaneous double slash or jump slash. If we want the most opportunities to safely heal, combine Shape of Un and Quick Focus. With that setup, we can heal safely during any attack except the dash slash. Quick Focus alone allows us to heal multiple hit points during many of those no charm healing moments. The double slash can be deceptive in its reach. The Shade Cloak and Sharp Shadow are very helpful in mitigating this attack. Oro or Mato will sometimes perform a series of short hops to close the distance on us before doing a double slash. We can pogo on Oro or Mato while they do a double slash. In the event of a simultaneous double slash, we may need to jump and dash over a brother to get out safely, because that attack can be done when one or both brothers are unusually far from us. When we see a jump slash starting, we should do our best to remain in place until Oro and/or Mato actually leave the ground. They set their landing spot before they jump, so we can continue to damage them even while they begin that attack. It is better to dash towards the attacking brother to avoid their jump slash because of how they target us. Their leading foot will strike where we were, approximately, which means there's less to dodge if we go towards them rather than away. We can follow their jump with our own, striking them with our nail, or we can hit them with Abyss Shriek. In the event of a simultaneous jump slash, we just need to choose left or right and mitigate it the same way we do with a single jump slash. Shade Soul is great to use in this fight. Cast it when both brothers are on the ground, even when one of them is charging their nail art. Just don't forget to dodge later. We can use it when we're safely out of range of a double slash too. Descending Dark is a great response to most of Oro and Mato's attacks, but hold off on using it until they are coming down from a jump slash for maximum effect against that attack. We can damage Oro or Mato while they are charging up their nail art with impunity. Pogoing while they charge their nail art is a safer option, though our damage output can be less than other offensive mitigations. It's best to jump over Oro's dash slash when he executes it. It's safest to give Mato a wide berth when we see him charging up a Cyclone Slash. We can pogo on him throughout the entirety of his spinning. I tend to use a mixture of spells and nail strikes, with a smattering of nail arts throughout the Pantheon. My preferred charm loadout for the entirety of Pantheon 1 is Strength, Shaman Stone, Mark of Pride, Dream Wielder, and Nailmaster's Glory. But that's just me. Find what works for you. Whatever tactics and charms get you through this Pantheon for the first time are just fine. Once we defeat brothers Oro and Mato, they stand and bow to us like they did after teaching us their respective nail arts. And with their defeat, the Pantheon of the Master is complete. The brothers Oro and Mato Hunter's journal entry contains a prayer to the Masters, talking about asking the brothers to help the God Seekers find the God they seek. I'll get into who that God is in a later discussion. When we enter the Pantheon of the Master for the first time, the God Seeker blathers on about us not being worthy to set foot in the Pantheon and hopes we are obliterated for our hubris, and continues to do so when we encounter her later in the Pantheon. Honestly, I don't like the God Seeker at all, constantly looking down on us and belittling us for how little we know while she goes on and on about attuning with the gods of Godhome and how those gods will destroy us because we are trash. But yet these obsessive gatekeeping fan seekers, fanboys, fangirls are somehow worthy to be in the presence of these gods? They are obnoxious, and I wonder if Team Cherry designed them this way as like a commentary about toxic fandom culture. And what does the Godseeker know anyway? Look at who she considers gods. Why is Soul Warrior a god? Soul Master exists, and Soul Master is clearly stronger than a Soul Warrior. What about False Knight? Why is a creature who has stolen their power considered a god? And this brings me to my next issue/conundrum with the lore and premise of Godhome and the Godseekers and everything Godmaster. Also, just so you know, this rant will not be in future Pantheon guides because I have this issue with all of Godmaster and you all don't need me to repeat it. Anyway, why are we fighting the brothers Oro and Mato? When we found them, they were secluded from the world in Hallownest and had some sort of disagreement between them, keeping them separated. Like, they're on opposite ends of Hallownest. Yet here they are, fighting together as if nothing happened. To me, this suggests that the Godseekers attuned themselves to these brothers a long time ago, before their falling out. But then we're fighting False Knight, with Oro and Mato being perhaps earlier versions of themselves. I would have expected to see Hegemol instead. So this suggests that the Godseekers didn't attune themselves to all of the gods we found in Godhome at the same time. Instead, it seems the Godseekers attuned themselves only to the brothers early in their existence, but everyone else only after we beat them. If we have the God Tuner and defeat an enemy that appears in the Pantheon, a God Tuner icon pops up on the screen after we've beaten that enemy in Hallownest. So here we have a Hall of Gods created by these God Seekers, but they primarily attune to the versions of gods that we've encountered. except for the bosses at the end of Pantheons and then some other special Godhome exclusive bosses found in later Pantheons. And yet, the Godseeker belittles us for being trash, but we are the only reason they are attuned to the majority of gods in Godhome. Can you see why I find this whole premise confusing? You know what, Godseeker? You're right. We are small, but we are mighty. And we have proven that by conquering the Pantheon of the Master. That's it for our discussion about the Pantheon of the Master and brothers Oro and Mato. Thank you for joining me today, noobs. Stay tuned for future Hollow Knight guides. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the first Pantheon of Godhome in the comments below. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I'll see you all next time.